Okay, let's open the meeting of the DuBois County Council. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Looks like everyone's here tonight, so we've got a quorum. We'll start out with the minutes. Approval of the minutes of February 21st. They were all sent out to us. Does anybody have any changes or additions? Okay. So hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of February 21st.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, Doug has made a motion. I have a second.
Second.
Meredith has made a second. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So approved. So we move on here with the highway. So are you here,
On behalf of Steve.
Steve?
Yeah, Steve's out sick today. So,
Okay, so you could introduce
so you
yourself.
get me. Brett Winholt, the DuBois County Engineer, on behalf of the Highway Department. So I'm here for additional appropriations out of the highway budget. You guys have all that in front of you. I can run through real quick. So part-time employees, we're asking for additional appropriations of $15,000. For paint, an additional of $13,000. Stone, additional $255,000. Bituminous material of $127,000. And then highway paving projects of $1,098,000. That's all out of NVH. You want to keep going, or you want to just keep
No,
going?
let's stop.
Okay.
Let's
Yep.
get any questions here first. Anyone have any questions? I think we discussed some of this last meeting, but anybody have any discussions here?
We discussed all this, I think, didn't we, last meeting?
Do we,
I wasn't sure if we did or not, that's why I wanted to make sure here.
I think he did the employee, but I don't know if he did paint in the bituminous and the
Yeah.
paving.
The paint is obviously just for restriping our roads. That's what the paint's coming from. Tim actually got quotes for that the other day, so we're good. That just covers the cost of the paint. The stone is for shoulder stone for our paving projects, and then the actual rock involved with our chip seal. That's the stone price. The bituminous is the liquid asphalt that goes down for our chip seal. And then the $1,098,000 is for the highway paving projects we do. I think his MVH ones are, oh my God, keep up with Steve's notes here, so bear with me. 600 north, oh, it's not that one.
A lot of times.
There it is, 700 north and 200 west. It's getting paved out, that's 600 west, 900 east wedge, and then 15th Street and Meridian are the other big ones getting paved out of that. That's what the paving projects, so.
A lot of times what we do is when he knows what his money, you did his budget, this is
Right.
extra money that they have and they appropriate it all so we can spend it.
For those projects, for the big projects.
so let's just approve that highway restricted first. So do we have to approve each one of these? The
You can
15,000?
do them all together, I just have 3 different forms because they're different categories. Their personal services, their supplies, and their capital outlay.
Is the paint what you were talking about, Simone?
Yes.
So, if there's no other questions, let's go ahead and approve these 3 items. So I'll entertain a motion if there's no other
I
discussion.
got one question for you.
Yep.
So you're doing 200 west out by me, and then it goes around the corner, and goes on the county line road, which you guys are gonna do. How does that work?
Oh, hang on, 200 west up by you.
You're just doing some chip and seal repairs.
Yeah, okay, yes.
How does that work on the county line? Do Spencer County?
We maintain our south and our east borders.
Okay.
So the roads that run on the county line on our south border and our east borders are our responsibility, come out of our fund. So, but if a resident builds a house on the south side of that road, on Spencer County side, then Spencer County tells them if it's acceptable or not. If it's on the north side, it's our job.
Yes.
But the maintenance of itself falls directly on us.
And
So
you
if our
do that-
north and west borders, that's on the other counties,
North is the White River, and then.
West-
in Martin County,
Yeah,
so, and then west is Pike.
Okay, I was just curious.
and we need to talk about some west. I'm getting some questions down there again.
On the west line.
Yeah, we can discuss that another time.
So, any other question, otherwise, then, let's entertain a motion, let's do all three at one time, if that's okay, so. Entertain a motion to approve those?
So I'll make a motion to approve, what's it, the highway restricted?
Yes.
I'll second it.
Got a first and a second, further discussion? Otherwise, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, there's 3 of them.
Okay, you can go ahead, man, if you want to.
Okay, so the next is out of local road street. So there's bituminous additional appropriation of $355,000 and then $277,000 out of paving projects. Again, that's just one that we please, the appropriation or we're ready for the projects, we know exactly what we're gonna be doing.
Okay. Any discussion there? Questions for Brad? Okay, otherwise I'll entertain a motion to approve those 2 items under local roads and streets.
I'll make a motion to approve local road and street.
Ron has made a motion, I have a second. Meredith has seconded, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
So I was reading, I didn't say aye, but I meant to say aye. It was awful quiet.
So 7-0.
Okay. Better just have to heard the song, you say aye. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Not
All right,
too detailed.
and last and final one is from out of solid waste, for the dumpster sites. It's an amount of $13,000, and that is to pave the Hayesville site, the Pine Ridge site, and the Holland site with chip seal. So,
We just spent a lot of that sticker money too, didn't we, on new dumpsters?
Yep, we spent a lot on dumpsters. Yep,
We have a lot, decent amount of money.
we're doing well. It's doing well, yes, since we upped it to 150.
So what's it for? Which one's
The
Pine Ridge?
Hayesville, Pine Ridge, and Holland.
And that's with dust control.
Mainly, yes, dust control, keep the mud down when people are.
When it's
Sorry,
raining
trash.
in there, yes.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the solid waste dumpster sites,
Sticker money.
stickers.
Motion on the floor to approve it, I have a second.
I'll second.
Someone has seconded, so any further discussion? Otherwise, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay.
That's all I've got.
Distress road
Just
loan.
roll the fund.
Distress road fund, okay, what was that one? What was that one for?
You
That
talked
was-
about it.
Million.
We're
that
gonna
was
do
$1
the
million
whole
extra.
million.
Yeah. So we just appropriate $1 million.
So we. Motion to advertise.
Yeah, I think we did the match, we didn't do the million.
That's what it was.
So we have to approve that.
Yeah, that's the agreement we got from the state. So,
That's the one that there, is that their 10-year grant one?
yeah, that's
Yes.
10-year. It's a not an interest-free loan.
This is our match, or this is our,
This
The $1 million is actually the loan. It's
This
we
is
have
so
to
that we can
appropriate.
actually spend the $1 million we got.
Okay.
We already did the match to it, we just didn't do the. And it's the same thing for the next one. We do one, but we forgot the other.
Did half of it.
But this is the million that
This is.
they contribute. The
Yes,
state contributes.
Yes.
and you can only use it for this.
For these
Yeah, I
projects.
got it.
Any additional discussion? Otherwise, we'll entertain a motion to approve that $1 million in distress road fund alone.
Second.
So Doug made a motion, Alex seconded. Any further discussion? So all in favor say aye. Anyone opposed?
There's a lot of-
Community crossings, 170,000. That one we did the state's part, but we didn't do our match part,
107.
170,000, community crossings.
23-1.
The new one we're getting.
That's for that,
Are you doing this one's it says community crossings match 170,000 out of the lit. You talked about it last meeting.
Yeah, but that, okay, sorry, we put the cart, that's way ahead of schedule. I was just coming to see if they're good with it. I mean, if we appropriated for community crossings,
Well,
then that's fantastic. It was already advertised, that's great. No, okay, I'm with you. The reason when I came in last meeting, it was just to say, hey, were you guys on board in July when I apply for these? But if we're good with it, heck yeah, let's move forward.
Do you want us to like table it and hold it? or-
No, I mean, honestly, I mean, it does give me the ability to go ahead and move forward with the project, and I've already got it. You guys appropriated, we're ready to rock. That's cool. That's fantastic.
Did we have projects specified on that?
600 East, there's Forest Road, Ferdinand Forest Road,
Okay.
from 64 all the way to Ferdinand Forest entrance.
Okay, so that's an individual one, and we have that Safe Streets, you have 81,000.
Well, I think what we're gonna do with this is we're gonna appropriate it, and then we're gonna do a transfer into the community
And that's
crossings.
perfect, yes.
So we still will do that part.
That's perfect, yeah. I was not ready for that, but I got you.
This will
Yes.
just sit there and then we'll move
Correct.
it over when you're ready.
Yes, perfect.
This is the one to finish that project, right?
No, this is, what it is we applied for Community Crossing 23-1, and I got the $1 million. Well, I tried to apply for $1 million. I can get an extra $500,000 roughly, I'm using round numbers. But the highway department doesn't have a match to go up to that additional $500,000.
Needs to match to utilize this and to complete all that project.
Then I get a full 1.5 million.
Yes.
So you're gonna do the second call.
Yes.
If they
Originally-
fund us, then we'll have it and be ready.
I originally wasn't gonna do the second call because I didn't even have the funds. But since you guys are willing to give us the match, then I can apply for that second call and get,
That's right.
I mean, it's a quarter for a dollar for work, so.
This is coming out of lit.
Yes,
Lit it.
because it's a match. We talked about using ARPA, but you can't use ARPA to match.
You can't, okay, I did not know that.
You can't
So
use
this,
a grant to match a grant.
Gotcha, makes sense. Yeah, okay.
so that, the next one here too, that Safe Streets match.
That's the same
coming out
thing.
of lit too, so I don't know if there's any discussion on that. I guess we could approve both of them at one time. If we wanted to. Hey, is that all right, or we want to go ahead with this community crossings?
They're both lit funds, they're both
Yeah.
capital outlay, so you can do them both. The community crossings is 170,000.
80,000,
The Safe Streets match is 81,000.
yes.
So any discussion on the Safe Streets match? Any questions for Brett?
That's for the study, right?
Sort of stuff, correct.
Okay, so I'm hearing that, I'll entertain a motion to approve that, it's 251,000 total.
I'll make that motion.
Okay,
I'll second.
so Sonia and Ryan, so further discussion, was all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
No, I appreciate that community crossing, so it gives me a step ahead. I get started knowing I got your back and that's phenomenal. Thank you.
That makes sense.
We'll just need a-
Project at once and be done and
Get it out.
makes sense.
Yes.
We'll eventually do a resolution, so that'll be coming.
Yeah. Cool.
I think you touched on that, we had said here before the meeting that you were looking for a committee, steering committee for that Safe Streets.
Correct.
And you had said that Ryan spoke with you about it. Okay, so I guess so the rest of the council knows that Ryan's going to be our representative on that steering committee. So,
You be looking for an email for your board, construction point, so.
You got my phone number and everything.
Yes, so I'll get a hold of you, because I don't hear any from them too. I don't know, sometimes those mass emails go spam and things
Yeah,
like that,
Until I
so.
get it once, and then I'll get you.
So,
So it's a steering committee, is what you're talking about?
Safe Streets for All Steering Committee. So it'll help with the survey, the survey questions. I should have brought that. I'll send you an email with that survey questions. Just review them. Hey, that works. Or if you got anything you want to add, that's fine.
Sounds good.
I'm just gonna note that you're gonna serve on it, so.
Yeah, and then there's going to give projects that they think they're good projects. You can look at them and say, hey, I like that, or don't like that, or why you doesn't read right.
do you mind, Brett, since you kind of sit on this higher up sewer board or whatever, I don't know, anyway, you met with the city.
Higher up.
Do you mean, could you just give us a brief, I heard some of it this morning, commissioners meeting.
Correct.
But could you give the council a brief overview of what's going on here?
With the city and everything?
Yes.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
So the city has options on the table. The original option was to pump it to the existing sewer treatment plant. the sheer cost of that alone is very high. I was actually amazed by the numbers. So their secondary option was to create a north side sewer plant. With that involved, they have to discharge to Mill Creek or the White River. IDEM has come back and said they don't like a new discharge point. They need to pump it south to the existing plant and expand the plant. Well, the city, for obvious reasons, that financially is almost impossible because it's almost double the price. So they have approached IDEM to try to, sell IDEM that, hey, the north side plant, we got growth moving north, it makes sense.
So the north side plant will be half the cost of getting back to the south.
Because you still have to expand the existing south side. They have the space and the ability to do it.
What is it at right now?
It's at, don't quote me on this, but like 70%, 60 to 70%. But during a wet, rainy weather, infiltration, it puts it at its max capacity of treating. That's the reason that they have to expand it anyways. But they have the ability to double it. That is true. But the double is like building a whole new plant when they can build a plant on the north side. That's where the funding comes from. I understand where Jasper's coming from, but they have to sell time, if that makes sense. So that's where the options are, obviously, to push it to the existing plant with a big lift station and expand the plant, to build a new plant on the north side of town and pump it to Mill Creek, or to build a plant on the north side of town and pump it to the White River. So quite a pump to get into the White River. So that's where they stand there. Then our sewer district is approved. The PER will be submitted on April 1st for review and be scored. SRF already knows about it. They know the project, they're well familiar with it, but we have to actually formally submit it to get it done. So it's a really quick rundown. I know the commissioners were talking about their appointments today. They were talking to several individuals, but they haven't set in stone yet who they want.
So we have our 30, I guess, which we want to do it tonight, but if we can do it tonight, if we don't have the actual sewer district.
To be honest with you, I would appreciate it if you could get it done. Just push them along a little bit and get it going.
I know we're working with Clark Dietz because they have to do the final.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you need the bylaws to know what you need for the appointments, but you can't have the appointments. You gotta have the appointments before you can get the bylaws. So it's kind of a,
You gotta have it all done. So if you've got them and you want to make them official tonight, that would be fantastic. If you're not too quick, let's put it that way.
Okay.
And then you're done. So
at least they're out there.
yes.
All right, I guess, I thought Clark Dietz was gonna come to the council and the commissioners and give a presentation or keep us updated. Is that still?
I can talk to Heath. He has been meeting with, we had a meeting with the city on Thursday last week.
Yeah. We have a meeting this
We have a
Thursday.
meeting this Thursday, an actual formal meeting. You know about that one?
I mean, it's said something.
Okay. If you would like for me to have them come in and present, I'm happy to do that.
Well, just so they have something, I think when we switched over from Mary,
Mhm.
they said they would keep the council.
Okay.
Because
I will-
think, we're concerned
No, that's fine.
about the ARPA funds and that kind of thing. I
I
think
get
it's good that we all know about it.
Yep, I get that completely. I'll talk to Heath tomorrow and see if he can kind of get a presentation and update set up and come in.
Yep.
And maybe your April meeting.
Yeah, April 22nd is what
Yeah,
it is.
I can definitely do that, because then the PER will be submitted. They'll have some more things that they can give you guys. That's not a problem at all.
I think it'd be best.
I think he'd be happy to do it. I don't know if you guys have talked to him, but he is very educated, very well spoken.
We need to put that on for Thursday.
I'm happy to do that.
I think that's all.
Okay.
I appreciated that.
Yeah.
So anyone else got any questions for Brad?
What do you think the odds are the IDEM approving this thing on the north side?
I don't think I'd answer that question.
This is really gonna happen, or we're gonna be trying to come through? I'm just trying to think on our end. We don't really have much to kind of guidance of what the heck we can do, because we're handcuffed to how we can plan for this, right? I mean, we have no clue what to do.
And that's the big thing. It's kind of we're in a tough spot because IDEM is forcing us to get this done. we obviously can't build a treatment center, we're not set up for it. City of Jasper's want to take it on, but they're at capacity too, so they've got to build something, but the item says we can't build in the north side of town.
Why don't they build it closer to the river?
It's been discussed, so.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can do that though, that's still at the discharge point, they're trying to eliminate discharge points, so that's the key thing. It's a tough spot, it really,
Yeah, I
really
mean,
is.
everyone's kind of in a tough spot now. We don't know, I don't know how the heck to plan for anything here.
And IDEM is not always the most speedy people. They take their time, so.
I'm just curious.
That was another answer for you. It's one of those that I feel for the city, I get it, they're trying, they are legitimately trying. That's a big pill, when they throw out numbers, that's a big pill to swallow. So,
Is it, anyone else got anything for Brent? Otherwise, thanks for enlightening us tonight.
Thanks for filling in for Steve.
yeah.
So, appreciate it.
You guys, anything else, give me a call.
Thank you.
We'll have a Cornerstone perpetuation, right? You know we've got to get to it, I believe, right?
Do you want to do those appointments first, or?
Well, the appointments next. I mean, that's
Oh,
okay.
sorry.
So, again, I think I sent everybody this, from Matt Grant, is one I spoke to, and I sent it to everybody. You were welcome to call him, he lives in Hayesville. I think, and then the other one, and he would be the northeast, I guess. And then Melanie Barrett. And Alex, you had spoken with her. I never did call her. She's the other one, and she lives. You know exactly.
She lives in town, right? And then she has responsible charge of what the waste treatment facility on. Lagoon, they got a lagoon system.
You guys are going to decide that.
Now, would that be? The only thought I had was, would she be covered by the Holland sewers? This, you can't be. You can't be part of the, see, I guess I misunderstood that. I thought she lived outside of town or wasn't part of this.
She lives in town.
So she gets a sewer.
Can't be covered under.
At this point, you have to be.
I don't think Holland, I don't know, I guess they do have a sewer charge because they got the lagoon system, but, yeah, I don't know.
The way they said that this morning, you couldn't be even in the Arlington Conservancy District, that would disqualify somebody. Even though they don't have a treatment plant themselves, that was going to suggest.
Would you check with her at some point and see if she does, if she lives physically in town and gets a town sewer, then that may be disqualifying her.
For all members on the board,
I think they have to live outside, their residence has to be not served by like Jasper, Hunter.
I can read it to you if I can pull it up here.
I should have probably said something to you. I thought about it over the weekend or Friday.
It says composition of the board, and that would be Southwest. One person appointed by the council who resides within the limits of the Southwest Du Bois County's public school district and outside the limits of any other existing sanitary sewer district.
I'll have to see. I think she probably does fall in that.
So she does fall into that. Could you give thought to that and see if you would know anyone else in that area? Otherwise, anyone else we could think about. I had another name, but I don't say it right now.
What about qualifications? I mean, outside of what you just said,
Pretty much
I know candidate, what's that expertise, I guess, and.
I don't know if there's any expertise. I'd say you want to be a concerned citizen.
Yes, I understand.
And naturally, like Maddie's got a degree,
Mhm.
but I don't think that's a qualification.
Mhm.
It pretty much is just somebody who's gonna be there because they can't have a proxy vote. They can only vote if they're there. That's kind of what I'm seeing on there.
So anybody,
So you got somebody for Southwest that don't work for,
no, I don't wanna tell you who it is. I don't,
you do though. I don't care about.
I
that.
had another name, but I think-
Earlier, you were calling Jerry Infeld, so I didn't know.
No, Jerry did not come up with anyone. But I was just giving another name, and it's, I'll tell you later, but I don't think he's qualified. See what you can find out, if you don't mind, Alex.
Yeah, I'll check them out.
And maybe she knows someone there too that could help us. But I think it would, naturally, I told Matt, you want somebody that's interested in it.
You gotta participate, come to meetings,
Because I think it's
give
important,
input.
because we're gonna be spending a lot of money. This thing is. So why don't we go ahead with Matt and I know you had volunteered, to be part of it. You've kind of attended most of the meetings. I mean, is that still?
I'm happy to help if you guys want me to be on there.
So why don't we vote, let's vote for Daryl first.
Nominate Daryl.
Okay, he wants to, so everybody in favor of having Daryl on that board?
Yeah, if you attended in all these meetings, we could
So
always serve.
you're in, like Flynn.
Are you making
So that-
motions or are you just,
Do we have to?
I don't know, I'm just asking. Because he nominated, but I didn't know.
Well, let's do it properly. So you're
I
nominating.
nominate Daryl to serve as our.
I'll second.
And Meredith is seconded. So further discussion or, so all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
I'm gonna go on record and say it's not gonna be a glorious position, there's gonna probably be people not happy.
Oh, I can't believe that. I mean, everybody I talk to.
I'll do my best, how about
Everybody
that?
at Maysville is just happy. about it.
I'll do my best, how about
Yeah,
that?
he's very happy about it.
They are happy about it. And then I'll nominate Matt Trimp for the Northeast School District, the seat.
I'll second.
Sonia has seconded, so any discussion there? So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? So then we'll look for the Southwest.
Substation, just pump station.
Okay, so then, the thing I've got is the additional appropriation. And I don't know if you're ready, Sandy, I don't know if you're
Out of the Cornerstone perpetuation, $30,085. I think I discussed it last time. This is for GPS equipment for the surveyor.
Any questions on that or any discussion? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve that $30,085.
I'll make that.
Daryl has made a motion, add a second.
Second. Oop, it's okay, doesn't matter.
So I think Meredith started out first, so any further discussion? Otherwise, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
I have two different ones for the opioid restricted fund. Well, no, sorry, take that back. I have one for opioid restricted fund. We're gonna do drug screens for $52,000, which matches our matching grant with the state for the opioid funds. And then I have another one for unrestricted funds. So let's do the restricted first.
Okay. I think that came about as we kind of had a little bit of discussion between, with Wyatt out there and, you know, trying to utilize these funds. They're so restricted that we had difficulty trying to find a place, you know, without going outside county.
Well,
and giving them-
Your restricted funds can only be used for certain things with opioid. So drug screens fit that bill, and this 52,000 has to match the grant that the state gave us, so. And they're real happy that we're doing this, because it frees up their drug screen money.
And wasn't there, I mean, we did have a little, I mean, when we reviewed it, we did have a little difficulty finding another slot that wasn't so tied, you know, that tied up, and you got to report on this to the state. So it kind of got complicated, but this would be an ideal way of helping, and it has to go kind of community corrections, or, you know, that type of thing.
I think we're gonna give some to probation and community corrections are both gonna use it for their drug screens.
So, any other questions on that or any discussions? Okay,
I'll make a motion.
okay, Doug has made a motion to approve that 52,000. Have a second.
I'll second.
Sonia seconded, so all in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Then the unrestricted opioid money, we have $12,000 for computer equipment at community corrections. They need 11 computers, I think.
Right.
How much was it? 32,000?
12,000.
So any questions or discussions on that? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve that $12,000 for computer equipment.
I'll make a motion.
Doug has made a motion, I have a second.
I will second.
Brian has seconded, so any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed?
I think I sent you a transfer for ARPA, but I got a few more that go with it, and then I have one for the clerk's office as well, so. Quite a few things going on here, and then I also have a salary ordinance to bring you as well, so. Bear with me, we'll get through them all, not that many, but, okay. I'm gonna do the clerk transfer. Amy would like to transfer $2,584.27 from her third deputy to the first deputy line item to pay out. She had the first deputy leave, and this was to pay out her time so she could start her new first deputy, taking it from the third deputy that's empty. The position's wasn't filled until this week. So I just don't like to transfer salaries without you all knowing.
So is this kind of comp time?
It was her, when somebody leaves, you pay out 75% of their PTO time and their comp time. So at the beginning of the year, you always have quite a bit of comp time, PTO time.
Should that money from the third deputy show instead of amount requested, amount reduced?
It will be taken from their line item and moved up, so it will be reduced.
Okay, well, I just, on there, it says amount requested.
Well, if you see the second column, it says reduced.
Yeah, I know.
I'll fill the second column out to say,
Okay.
you'll see it on here when you.
Okay. Discussion on that. Okay. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to make that transfer.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Sonia has made a motion, have a second.
I'll second.
Okay, Doug has seconded. Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, now I have 3 different things for the ARPA. I could have put them on one, but I just kept them separate to make life easy for me. The first one is, last time we talked about siren maintenance. Instead of taking it from edit fund, you guys decided to take it from ARPA, so I'm moving it from our help grant in ARPA to its own line item, so $41,292. You kind of agreed to it last time already, so
Questions on that or comments on that? Discussion? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to. So we're just,
you're just,
transferring it.
you're transferring it from, basically what you're doing is you're moving it out of other services and you're moving it into capital outlay, putting it in the right category.
So anyone,
I'll make the motion to
okay, Ryan.
approve that.
Ryan has made a motion, may I have a second?
I'll second.
Sonia has seconded, so. Any further discussion? So all in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed?
Okay. The one I sent you was moving money from other services and personal services into capital outlay. And that is for the chiller, County Road 500 East, the sheriff cars, the park maintenance equipment, and the park phase 2 alternate bid amounts. $509,155 is the total. And I have the breakdown on the sheet if you want to see it.
Any questions?
Again, it's moving it into the correct category.
Any questions or any discussions on that? You know what, I can see we talked about this partial payment on the NX chiller, the 29. You know, that thing was about close to 100,000 or whatever that was when we did that work. I think it's all completed, done very good. Transition time between fall and winter. So I think Mesper did that and he got that done. And it's 1.4 miles of County Road 500 East to finish that road was the 70,000. We talked about the sheriff's cars, the 4 vehicles that we approved. And then the park maintenance equipment was the 4H on the mower. The skid loader, the new skid loader, or tracked skid loader and the mower. And then the alternate bids for the park was the zip line and the play feature. So I think we discussed those pretty thoroughly last meeting.
Now, what I took it from, and you'll see on the bottom, we no longer have Ryland, the help coordinator, so I took all her money that we weren't gonna use and moved that out.
Okay.
And then the help grant, I'm moving it into where we can use it.
So I think it all makes sense that way. You know, we put some thought into it last, you know, because we wanted to try to utilize that ARPA funds. So I think it all makes sense. So any other discussions or comments? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to approve that.
This ordinance, this whole ordinance, right? The transfer, I'll make the motion to approve the.
So it's 509,155 is what it is. So,
I'll second.
so Ryan made a motion, Doug seconded. Further discussion? Otherwise, all in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed?
Then I have one more for the ARPA. Did I send you guys the email? I can't remember. The prosecutor's office back here, they have 2 copier printer scanners that are so old, our new servers won't support them. So they have to keep an old instance out there for it to run on. And Matrix would like us to upgrade that. And so if we could buy 2 machines out of the ARPA money to replace these old ones, get rid of them, so that we can get rid of that old server instance and move to the updated version and not have to maintain an old one. The commissioners today approved 1 color machine and 1 black and white machine at a cost of $12,541.60.
And where are these coming from?
ARPA,
No, where's these printers?
Who's Your Business machines. I have the quotes on the back.
No, I just gathered.
Well, I mean, they talked about 2 colors, 2 black and whites, one,
Yeah.
so they went with one of each.
How much was the black and white?
The black and white is $5,512.80, and the color one is $7,028.80.
That should last.
I mean, Beth was not, I mean, she had no money and she said she'd keep what she had. It's just, you gotta look at the other side too, saying how much do we wanna put into an old server that we really don't need anymore?
Okay. So let's go ahead. Any questions on that? And the reason, I guess, maybe everybody understands, but the reason this ARPA money was already appropriated. That's why we don't have to advertise it and do all this. That's the only reason.
You're just transferred into the right category.
So do we need a motion to approve them?
Yes. Same thing.
I'll make the motion to approve the 2 printers.
Okay, Ryan has made a motion. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Doug has seconded, so further discussion. Otherwise, all in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, so motion carries.
You guys want me to spend it? I'm finding ways to spend it.
No, we don't want to just do it like that. Do we have a clarification? Once the regional sewer district is created, can this money go into the regional sewer district, and will that qualify and meet the guidance for the deadlines needed?
Well, I haven't researched it yet, but Nick said he was approached about, once it's created, we could transfer money to the district.
Okay, so you're researching to see if
So
that meets
I just
the
learned
qualifications.
that today, so
Okay.
hopefully
That's all I need at
we
this
want to
point.
get it committed and
Okay.
My only, I guess my only concern with that, after hearing that this morning, will they be able to, it just seems like this is so drawn out. Will we be able to spend that money at the beginning or end of 2025? I mean, push all that money into someplace that's outside, our control, I'll say.
once you give it to them, it's gone.
Yeah.
Council's control, then what if they don't do something with it, or if it doesn't progress like we think it's going to, or we hope it's going to, then that money's gonna be taken back.
Yeah, well, I didn't say that I'm an advocate for doing it. We need to research if that's a valid plan C or whatever.
Yeah, I'd like to follow with Baker Tilly on that kind of stuff.
Okay, yeah,
I'm not
fair
really-
enough. That's,
But I guess you can, I don't know.
we need to get something, I think, valid to research, right?
But the thing is you don't want to give it to them and then not spend it and give it back, then we lose it.
No, I get it.
Okay.
You can go ahead if you
I
want.
have an amendment to a salary ordinance.
Okay.
The commissioners today did formally create the JRAC Deputy Sheriff Social Worker out of the Justice and Mental Health Grant at a wage of $2,462.42 biweekly. That's a maximum pay. The grant is a 3-year grant that goes from October 1st, 2023, which they tell me you can extend it at the end, but we'll see, to September 30th, 2026. There's no raise in this position. This is a 3-year, same wage all the way across. The position will begin once the planning has been completed for the grant and they release the funds. They're hoping that's sometime this summer. The project manager was hired this week, so we're hoping. This wage classification is MPOL 2. And like I said, it won't start until that grant gives the go-ahead.
My question would be without looking at it or studying it. So what's the wage set and what's the 2024 wage for an MPOL?
It was what was ever in that grant for that position.
So what if it it's above that, should we gonna pay that person more than a normal? I'm just asking, I don't know.
We can table it if you wanna do that. I just took what the grant said they were gonna make, and it
And
was
then
62,000 something.
it seemed higher than a whole, but, I mean, it's,
Well, I don't think we have to make a decision on that tonight.
No, they created it today, so I wanted to get it out here. But if you want to table it, we can do that.
and then, I mean, thinking ahead here, how would we handle raises in the future? I mean, would that come out of the general fund then?
Either they'd have to match it somewhere else, or this position wouldn't get a raise for 3 years. It's kind of like the project manager is 25,000 for 3 years. And I think this one's 62 something for 3 years.
Okay, why don't we, I mean, I would recommend maybe tabling it too, or just.
That's fine.
Because I'd like to know that moving forward, what we're, and that person that would be in that position realizes that, you know, you may not get a raise here. Of course, if you're making somewhat more than a normal MPO, you know, then they may not be concerned about it. But I think there's 3 things there I'd like to know a little more about.
I just don't want it to slip through because I know in the minutes, they kept putting it off and they never created it, and I didn't want it not to get created. And then the grant be ready to go and we don't have the opportunity to get going.
Well, I appreciate the work you've done on it.
So, We can bring it back next time, that's not a
Am I
problem.
thinking wrong here?
No, I'm going to make sure you do this right.
It's $2,462.42 is the biweekly. So if you extrapolate that out, that puts you in the park. 246242. I think it's within pennies.
Is that the starting wage of it?
That would be the
Total wage?
total wage the grant's gonna give them for 3 years.
Do you mind saying that? I'm sorry. Can you-
$2,462.42 biweekly. Now, in 27, we are gonna hit a 27 pay cycle, so
Oh. Just wouldn't get paid that.
well, it's different. You either have to budget for 27 pays, but elected officials take less because it's spread out over one more pay. So. Yeah, it's always a fun time. That's in 27, I think, is when it's gonna hit.
It's fine.
Sandy, would you send me those
I didn't know that
bylaws
was
for that person that appointed me, so I know if she can't do it, what exactly?
Yeah.
So I can make sure the person.
It's a draft, but it's still. Yeah, I'll just table it, put it on the next agenda, and
Let's do that. It gives us a chance to study it a little bit, you know. Well, this person will not even be hired until July.
well, it's a deputy with a social work, they have to have that job description.
I mean, according, I guess, I think when we talked about this originally, we had said that the position wouldn't, I mean, I thought because of the grant, it wouldn't even start till July.
I don't think it will, they have a lot of stuff to do to get this money going, so. I mean, the planning stage has to get through first.
We finish these and then move forward here. Okay. So, when you
I just sent
finish,
you the whole email, so you'll have all of it.
so when you finish with.
That's all I have.
Okay, I think a couple things I want to touch on here is, Tammy Hubbard, the EMA director, there, she had a couple of meetings, one in January, one in March here. This 2024 multi-hazard mitigation plan, I think it's a 5-year plan that I attended. And there a lot of, Sandy and a bunch of other people attended, so that's going, and I think that was the last meeting, so they're gonna put that plan together, and I'll get the code. It's going to be a pretty thick book, but I think I'll give you, we'll have one naturally here in the council commissioners chamber, but I think only the commissioners really sign off on it, but all the cities and towns council people have to sign off on it too, so.
If you have any kind of hazard that you think could happen and you are concerned about it, send it to Tammy's way so it can get put in that plan. Because if we can get money, if we have that kind of disaster, this helps us get grant money.
And we cover there's a lot of stuff that cover buildings, floods,
Winds, tornadoes, earthquakes.
Public, private, everything.
everything's, part of it's just.
If it's any kind of hazard.
Okay.
Like if a dam would break, they could add all the dams in there.
Okay, good.
So, it was pretty comprehensive, I thought, but, you had everybody from every town and every school district, and everybody was there, and brought up things, but we don't have the final draft, and if you really want to look at it, the preliminary, I didn't scan that in, but Tammy got that downstairs. She could give me a scan
I couldn't make that meeting for some reason, I was just curious.
on your phone there. I brought up the Clark Dietz thing. I kind of think we all, I think Brett's going to take care of it for us to get Clark Dietz here to talk to the council. Let's see here, the security, security and site work, you guys all get those minutes, but, it's going well. Should be finished by the end of April, and the furniture and everything's going to move in. So if you think about it, if you're interested in it, I think in the next, first part of April, there's some time, it'd be nice, middle of April to maybe take a tour of it, because once they, you do afterwards, this is not a restricted area. But it's starting to really come together, and the site work, they're gonna start doing the asphalt, and all that. It's gonna look like a finished facility here. The other thing, I'll just comment on, and we don't have to discuss it, but, we all did get a letter from the sheriff about jail inmates hosting or holding jail inmates out of county. I did a little bit more analysis on it. I just don't.
Sounds like something that is not going to be a certainty that we can fully count on, in my opinion. It might be, but it seems like if other counties don't want to chip their inmates to us to hold, then we're in a hard place to come up with the funds for any additional spending.
The comment, going back to 17, when we started this, when we had these issues with the jail, overcrowding, we had at that time, I looked back at some of the newspaper articles, we had 130 people there sometime in July, in the summer months. That's when things starts filling up. That's why we looked at a jail of 176 beds, we're down low now, in the wintertime, the jails don't usually fill up. But at that time, I guess my point was, we were sold with this pod design on this jail that we could actually maybe not need as many people to supervise these, the inmates. So, to hire more jailers, I'd have to, we'd have to do some serious thought there. And that's why I wouldn't want to bring in 10 prisoners from out of the county and have hire four people. 4 additional employees. So I don't know, that's just my thought. So, we can discuss it if that comes about. I think you guys, we all need to think about that, because you
That
know,
also brings up possibilities if we start bringing out of area, state, whatever, people into the area. You know, what's the community, what's their perception gonna be? You know, is that something that's wanted? I don't know if that poses a risk or not, I mean, it's just something to think about.
I think, you know, a bunch of us, Doug, we were all in this, you know, in 16 or 17 when we built it. The goal was not to build a jail.
To get into business.
Right, exactly. That was not our goal at all. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember that, but I sat in a lot of meetings. That's not the goal. I think we wanted it to
It
capacity.
didn't sound like that was what he was trying to say in the email, though. It just kind of sounded like that would be a way to pay for, help supplement the new positions. So that's how I read it, as him saying, you know, we need these two positions. This is, you know, an idea that we've had to help fund those positions.
Work
So-
release just talk about how they do it, but they do prioritize the county people first, and then there's certain types of offenders they won't take.
Okay, so that's maybe been addressed,
In
right?
the work release program.
Just so I thought we'd at least discuss it a little bit here.
Yeah.
Now about the email. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, at least discuss it here.
Because at the beginning, we did tour a lot of the jails that were newly built, and that was one of the things, the way that they were designed was to supposed to help cut down on the amount of employees needed
It's
to run,
supervision.
supervise inside the jail.
Yeah, 'cause they got a central tower that could watch over.
How many around us are building a new jail?
Do what?
How many counties around us are building a new jail? Will they all be
Right now.
wanting to do the same thing, to hold more prisoners from other people?
I mean, Warwick's on it, it just started. I mean, are they just, I mean, there's a lot of different counties that have been built.
I think Knox was one of them we went to.
Even Greene County, you know, was building one then. So it's that's kind of why they passed that jail tax, you know, or initiated, I mean, because everybody was, you know, everybody had additional prison.
Compliance, and they needed to build another one.
Well, I was just thinking, if all around us is building, they're not gonna have extras for us to hold.
Yeah, exactly, right, to hold other our people.
And it could, you know, like kind of what Doug is alluding to it somewhat, you know, I think you know, when these people finish their jail, well then, you know, we may not get any prisoners, you know what I'm saying? So,
I know that when we hold DOC past the time we're supposed to, and we're still holding them, that they're billing for those. So Randy told me, the jail commander told me that they're starting to bill, they started in December.
so anyone else got anything to report on, or?
The only thing I forgot to mention is in ARPA, I'm gonna start getting computer maintenance, and we're gonna start needing some computer equipment this fall. I didn't know if you wanted me to maybe use some ARPA money for that and save some CUME cap money, or if you want me just to use the CUME cap, and, you know, that's a conversation that, because our maintenance fees, some of our maintenance fees are due at the end of the year. Like our Office 365, our Trend, our antivirus, our Duo, all that is coming up. And then I'm also gonna need our end of life for our storage on our computers, or our servers are coming up, and we're probably gonna have to replace that, and they're telling me it'll probably be 50,000 plus. Cause that's coming as well. So I just kind of wanted a ballpark of what you wanted me to kind of proceed at in the future.
I got it. Any thoughts? I'll give my opinion. I just think maybe we'll count on ARPA funds. That'd be my opinion. I just still feel that way.
If we're concerned that we need to use them up, I don't see a problem. I would make sure, I'd feel comfortable if we had good paper trail, so we can kind of, you know, down the road, if we need to be taking funds from other money from other funds, and using toward the regional sewer district. That way it's very clear that we're just using these, that we, to replace some that we saved, you know what I'm saying? So does that make sense?
It's just
I'd like to have a good picture so we can document that.
What about offsetting costs?
Yeah, exactly, there you go. That was the word I was looking for.
just computer maintenance is a huge cost. It just is. It's a cost of doing business. And it doesn't get cheaper.
I'm saying I'm fine to use the ARPA funds for that, but that we know that we're saving X number of dollars from the other funds, just,
This,
Because we know.
Usually we use cum cap funds.
More than 10 million. I think that's a good idea.
but knowing that when we're gonna be needing funds for the regional sewer district, that it's perfectly clear and it's not confusing the taxpayers that we're taking.
I mean, well, that's why I'd like to, I think we should probably know that answer. We've paid for everything for Clark East up in the design part. So we got land acquisition or easement acquisition yet, and then we've got construction. Not only the cost of the construction, but for Clark East to run the construction. So, inspections and all that stuff. So, we're talking, a large amount of money, especially in the construction, construction end itself. We're talking about a larger amount of money that ARPA funds aren't gonna touch, because we're talking an $18-20 million job. But
I just wanna make sure that we know those funds that we originally, ARPA funds that are dedicated to this project, if they're somewhere else, and then we're taking more funds, from whatever other buckets, that we know why we're having to do that, because we use ARPA funds for other places.
What did you say for this?
Yes.
I mean, that's,
And even this goes to all that we're talking about here. It looks really good and it's easy to sell if, okay, we're only using 25%. We're taking X number of dollars, we're taking $100,000 here, and we know that we're gonna get federal funding for, the other 3/4 of it. We need to make sure when it's logical and it makes sense to do that, if we're getting grant funding from the federal government for projects that we just have to make sure that we know that we need these projects, because, if we're spending even only a certain percentage of our local money to match federal dollars, it needs to be projects that we have to have, not want to have, until we know what our dollars, how much money we're gonna have to commit to this regional sewer district, if that makes sense. I don't wanna get free flow of money because we think we've just got money everywhere. Even if it looks like a good deal for a federal matching grant, if we don't need it, I don't wanna go after money just because it's free money, because it's not free, and no matter how you look at it. Does that make sense? We need that's just something that I think we need to conservatively look at, because like Mike says, this is a lot of money. This sewer district's gonna cost a lot of money to get this implemented.
it does, and my only comeback to that is, we cannot use ARPA funds to match other grants.
No, I get that. No, I'm not saying it for that reason. That was separate from the ARPA. That's just Daryl talking philosophically, as a council, I think that we have to watch and not get in the trap of thinking if we're only have to put 20% or 25%, and we're getting a bunch of money from the federal government. We can't do that on projects that we don't have to have until we know what's going on for sure with that sewer district.
The ones,
We don't now, yes, have tos versus wants. That's what I'm saying. We just need to keep our eyes open as a council. My personal opinion.
That's legit, that's good. I think you're-
On the other hand, I do want to say that we have ARPA money and when it's revenue loss, we don't want to lose it.
No, I agree. I understand.
So we need to have a plan if we don't have that in place by the end of the year.
Absolutely.
And you'll dig into it a little deeper, the comment that
Yes.
one of the commissioners made this morning.
Okay.
So anybody else want to talk about anything else?
At your next meeting, I do have a couple of things on the agenda for the abatements that are you guys' abatements, so they'll be coming at the next meeting.
Okay.
I don't know who serves on that committee, but,
I'll be right here.
So you guys did.
so I didn't know if you wanted things ahead of time.
I think we better,
I don't think they have to turn them in quite yet, so I'll let,
I think it's like April 22nd.
that's our next meeting.
Or 20.
So
Yeah, when they have to have it turned in though. It's not,
it might be May that
okay.
they have to have it, so I'll let you both know then.
make sure, so we don't run into problems we've been having. Like
So they
last
don't-
year.
Yeah, we tried to get them on the agenda before they had to be signed and turned in to us or something like
But are
that.
they gonna give us some of the paperwork ahead of time though?
I will talk to Linda.
Yeah, I mean, I think they will, yeah, they did last.
I just wanted to let you know that they're on the agenda for next time.
Right,
One company did, and then we had to give them that's why I'd rather have it on here, so everything.
yeah,
So we don't have to make special.
they're on the agenda. Goodness.
That's a good point.
We just tried to get them on there earlier this year.
Doug, do you have anything else?
No, I will, talk to Melanie and, you and I can talk with that other person or.
Just give me a call. And if you stick around, man, I'll tell you. You know who. And then Meredith, you have anything else?
We'll go to career day tomorrow. Everybody else going?
Pardon me?
Anybody else going to career day?
It's Wednesday.
Or Wednesday? Yes, Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
I did tell Mark I would go.
Where's it at?
Jasper High School.
So I'll go represent the council.
Okay, good. Well, I was trying to decide. I haven't necessarily decided what I'm gonna do with my life yet.
You gonna walk around with a bunch of eighth graders?
Might be time for a career
Is it middle school? Is it middle school?
Well, the one day's the eighth graders and the next day's the junior and seniors. So I helped with him last year and it was fun.
Sounds like
We usually have a game
Yeah,
and then we ask the kids questions about the county and see if they can answer it. So we have different, he has a whole pot
Come
of.
back and get your-
I remember doing that when I was the coordinator.
Okay. Anything else? Otherwise, we'll entertain a motion to close the meeting.
I'll make motion.
Okay, Doug has made
I'll
a
second.
second, so any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Meeting is closed. Good night.